A team called Sheffield FC are known to be the inventors of football and also the world's oldest club. However, they're not a professional team in England. There is one that is the oldest and pro, and that is Notts County in League Two. After a season where they should have been going up the leagues, they eventually didn't and sacked their manager Maynard. They also lost a few key players, their best one in David McGoldrick, their goalkeeper Alex Bass, and now got a manager that doesn't fill the fans with too much hope. So today I'm taking over Notts County, the Magpies, to try and take them back to the top and make the oldest professional club in the world the best club in the world also. As yes people, here we are with all the signings made for this season. With Notts County, a team I have been desperate to build actually since I did do my Grimsby Town save. Yes, they might actually beat us a few times in the league each season, but that doesn't matter. I still have a soft spot for this side. Very good players in Jody Jones. Ollie Norburn, a decent new signing. Jatta was a signing not long ago. And yeah, a very good squad that shouldn't be in League Two. They've just lost their manager, like I said in the intro. A little bit of lost direction and a little bit of a loss in money because I have made all the current signings, giving us only 3 million after Barry Cotter has joined. He's a right back. We've got Nick Trusula, who came not long ago, and he's a left back who is very, very good. Which begs the question, why are they going with this formation? Jody Jones I know can play at wing back, but I'm going to change this completely around. As you can see, there is no goalie in the squad at all. The reserves is very thin. I think this man, Macari, has he got a ban in real life from football for betting? I don't know. It's a little bit messy around this team, and I want to clear it up. Putting my own team together, and that all starts with probably getting a goalkeeper. After tactics, though, because there is 10 outfield players you've got to get working first. And I think in the lower leagues of English football, you've got to get working by just going back to the original. The most basic tactic of all, 4-4-2, and it kind of fits. The oldest team in football playing what is known as the oldest style. As this is probably the team I'd start with. Traore up front with Jatta. We've got Jones now as a winger. We're going to change Jarvis to a right midfielder. Goalie's definitely what we need, like I've said, but also the bench is pretty good. We've got Dennis, who's only 23, a bit of time to grow, and plenty of central midfielders. As squad-wise, this is actually the oldest team in football, so you can see most of the players are either in their prime at 27 or just a little bit over. And that actually reminds me, keep an eye out on this rebuild, because once we hit a certain division, there is actually going to be a strict aim we put onto the video, which might hinder us or make the video very entertaining by making it harder. It can swing both ways. As this is the initial academy, I think I'm just going to take some players from here, not put any more money into it because it's only a 1-star and we don't have much cash as it is. Only 2 million after contracts, or 2.4/2.5 after 500k is gone. As you can see, for a League Two club, the wages are very high. We've got Jatta on 14k a week at 26. That is unbelievable money. No wonder they have no problems at actually getting players into the club, but now we need to think about that goalkeeper, and I do have one in mind. If we could even buy this man, it would be terrific, as Nicholas Bilokapic is out of contract soon. He's only on 3.5k a week, and he could get more at Notts County. 6'5". I just really like the look of him. I've signed him before in a Road to Glory kind of rebuild, which this is. So sorry, Peterborough. I know in real life you're a little bit of a struggling team, but you're gonna struggle even more because your goalkeeper is taking the step below in a division. And I think this is why you wanted to come to us, because he's now got a promotion on his CV, finishing second in League Two. It's not a title, it's not a playoff trophy, but it is a promotion for the oldest club in world football. Very nice for the Magpies, as the team expected to win the league. MK Dons down in 9th and Grimsby in 17th. So maybe I'm not fully satisfied with that. I'm really upset with how my club have done, as we actually beat Charlton, a very big scalp, and we actually reached a game against Bournemouth, round 4 of the Emirates FA Cup. However, only round 1 of the Carabao, losing to the team that actually won our division. In Burton and the BSM, we never ever get anywhere near, especially in this save though, because I didn't leave much room for reserves. Essentially won in Hinchy. We didn't have a backup goalkeeper, but we did have a good starting 11, which I think is why we've got got promoted. Will Jarvis, a +7. He's been out of position, or maybe playing ahead of Jody Jones, who's gone up +2. Bila Kapic up 3, as we are going to just make that minor change. Will Jarvis over to the other side so he plays. As goal-wise, he scored the most, and then Traore and Dennis outscoring Jatta, who I thought would be our main man, and some of the loanies have done pretty decent, like Owen Rayner up to a 60. Simmons could probably sit on our bench, and that is in the league above, as we lost one player, probably in January. Must have been a release clause still. We've made the money back on Bila Kapic with Jacob Bedio, a left-footed centre-back, and you know how annoyed I get with left-footers not being in the correct position, so I think next season we've got to get a left-footed centre-half to try and survive in the 3rd tier, as we're aiming to go up a tier to 60,000 subscribers, so if you could leave a big subscribe button click, would mean the world to me. Also drop a like, as our best centre-half, apart from Platt, is a right footer, and it is Ness, who is only 24. Say this is an old team, it's okay in youngsters, but we do need that next centre-back, and we also need a central midfielder. And do we trust Traore? He did score a lot of goals last season. He's 26, but then we've got Jatta, who's a year older, taller, stronger, better. Sounded like I was going to sing a Black Eyed Peas song there, as budget-wise this season, it's not as much as last. Only 5 million to operate with. So I think this season we've got to operate on a 1-in, 1-out schedule. As Macari's on the transfer list, he can't play IRL because of his ban. I would have liked to sell Edwards, but he's retiring at the end of the season. So I'm going to try and sell Ollie Norburn. We're not going to get too much money on him. And Macari actually seems, because we've only got under 500,000, almost equal in the amount we got for Norburn. And that is not good. Not even $1 million actually made. So 6 million. Stinky money. I hate to say it, but I think free agents might be a way to go for at least one position, as our aim is just to survive, and I'm going to look centrally at central midfielders. For in the middle of the park, and Max Anderson. I've never heard of this guy. However, he doesn't look too bad. I'll take a chance on him. He's better than what we've got. And like Pringles, free agents, once you pop, you cannot stop. As welcome Shandon Baptiste. He was released from Luton, and he's a very good pickup. IRL should be playing at this level, and he is another decent player. Now, we've got more money than we hoped for to sign a centre-back and sign maybe a striker. I want firepower into the team, and like I said, MK Don should have been promoted last year. With the budget they have in League Two, I can't believe they haven't done it. Especially with players such as Aaron Collins. What a signing that was by Paul Warne in real life. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and nab him for very cheap. And then we've gone for a cheap-ish centre-back from the league above, like we did last season with our goalkeeper. Antonio Kivic is this man, however, who I'm going to show you in a second. But I am stunned by our league finish. 5th in the championship, or sorry, almost going to the championship. 73 points we gathered. FA Cup we lost only to Leeds. The Carabao Cup we only lost to Norwich. And the Bristol Street Motors, unfortunately, to Stevenage. The competition where it must always play our worst players, as this is our team. And this is Tivkic, who we just got on a deal from Watford, only 23. He's that left-footed man that I wanted. Anderson and Baptiste have been perfect. I mean, Collins is now our best striker. Jatta's very much struggled here. As our best player now, Will Jarvis, 74 in the 3rd tier, and only 24 as he's outscored this season, though, by Aaron Collins. And Jatta got 9 as Will Simmons. Maybe he could be a striker next year. We've got Diaz, Sanderson, Rayner, and Lucero, all growing from that first season as Collins in the team of the year next to McAtee. How I miss John McAtee, as now we've got to check the League One playoffs. Well, that's already ruined it, as in the semi-finals, a 6-3 loss to Derby. But at least we made them playoffs. But we've got 6 million for this next season. A very good first one in League One, like I've just mentioned. Just hang on, I want to actually see the table. MK Don's here now, Gillingham. Derby actually didn't win the playoffs, so it was Reading going up. Blackpool, we have got rid of Blackburn Rovers, who I was very surprised to see in this division. Maybe another centre-back needed. Maybe another striker to replace Jatta, if I can actually speak. I'll trust Anderson in the midfield a bit more, because I do think we've actually got a decent lineup. I'm going to change the tactic style. Short passing, high defensive approach. I'm hoping next year that EA just really boost tactical side of FIFA. As yes, it's okay at the moment, but still, I'm just bored of putting player roles on. As you can see, I've gone for Collins now, the false 9, Jatta a bit forward, and maybe we still do replace him. He's 69 rated, which would be brilliant for the bench, especially in this division, as we are still limited to signing in England, being only in the 3rd tier. As I'm not looking down, I'm always looking up for signings to the Championship, as the first player even strikes straight at me. Emmanuel Adebayoga, 70 rated, 23-year-old. Oh, but he's unwilling to relocate. That would have been a good signing. Any more for any more, though? We do need a right footer, which should be simple to get. I mean, Brad Hills is at the same club. Sure, he's not at that 70 rating mark, but for the price we've just had to pay, I do think that's a very shrewd signing. A pair of central defenders from the Championship, where we're aiming to get both 23, as I want to replace Jatta, but then these two aren't the youngest. And 3 million left. Maybe that's not enough for 2 players, especially with some contracts, or a lot of contracts to sign, and we're not the cheapest of clubs wage-wise. So I'm just going to buy a young striker from the division below for quite cheap. Neo Dobson, 6'3", left footer from the Cobblers. As he's not bad, he's 21.66 overall. I don't think he's going to make us stand out if we reach the Prem, which hopefully we're going to do with Traore there. And then the first team, the centre-backs have improved. We've got a lot of 70 rated, almost 180. And we have lost a midfielder. Baptista's gone to Holstein Kiel over in the Bundesliga. A move we really can't blame him making, and that's 3.7 million hopefully for next year, which will be a Premier League year. No draws has kept us going, only 9 goal difference. 13 losses, 30 wins, and a trophy, as I definitely want to see the goal scorers after a year like that. As Emirates FA Cup time, Brad Hills as ex-club beat us, as Norwich like to, and then Rotherham in the Carabao first round. Interesting, as then we did win the group in the BSM trophy. Oh my days, and we actually made it through a knockout round, then we made it through 2, then we made it through 3, then we made it through 4. Oh my days! Miracles do happen! The BSM trophy. I don't think I've won it in the entirety of FC25. Now, you may be able to correct me, but now I'm going to have to find a new picture of a trophy to actually put into our cabinet, because I've never actually witnessed us win it. Notts County a team for the history books, and them players have got us to the Championship. We've conquered everything below the Championship now. We've won the Cup, which I cannot believe we've done. As this Championship, apart from Leicester City, and apart from my finger slipping onto the other menu, and Wolverhampton, I think maybe we could fly through it if we make some of the correct signings. And we get more money after winning the Cup, which is something I actually think is a possibility, because 9 million's a big step up from the lousy 3 we've been getting. And we only do need 1 position. I mean, Hinch has been put in there as the captain. We've lost Palmer, but we've gained some of these reserve players in Simmons, who was out on loan again. Rayner, only 20, 68 overall. Maybe we could trust him for a season. Is he Premier League quality? Probably not, but he's got the potential to be special. And Simmons really isn't going to play on the right because of Jarvis, who's been our best player. 115 weeks till a striker, not ideal, but only 22 to a left mid. Jody Jones is probably near retirement. An old player in the oldest club. He submitted a transfer request, but I'm going to keep him here, and I am going to play him till he's done. Our number 10 for the Magpies has versatility. We've got 2 youth players I didn't even spotted snuck on the bench in Cox and Lucero. Now with Simmons, and now with Rayner, giving us that centre mid slot, the only one to fill, and we can sign from anywhere. Now we're a Championship club. We are not restricted to England anymore, and I've gone and done something I usually never do. And I've gone ahead and looked in Sweden. Siltanen looks a very good player, but I'd rather not spend all the money on one. And we've got Alex Bronner, 20-year-old, who at the minimum looks like a good investment. Probably could sell him on for some profit after 1 or 2 years. And decide to go back to Rayner, our young player, who's currently still on the bench. As our centre-backs we did well with buying, but our full-backs are a little bit older. Inkota, who is 29. Trazula is also 29. Now, I thought he was actually younger than that. Okay. Now I sense a problem. We do have Lucero on the bench for now, so I'm not worried more left-hand side. I'm worried more about the right, and we do have 5 million still to spend at Notts County, which is a significant amount, and it's not going on one player, as this is Christian Farkas, an 18-year-old right-back from Hungary. And this is Burnett, a new striker, which could potentially see the end of the Colin Jatta partnership if this guy gets as good as he can be. A beast up front, as now it looks like Jatta wants to play. Now Burnett's come into the club. He's gone to a 73 at 30. Traore took over a little bit, as I'm actually more interested on the bench down here. We've got Farkas, who I just signed, Simmons doing well, and also Rayner, who could almost fit in the team. He's not completely ready as a left mid yet. Probably because he got subbed on for Jarvis, who was 80-something rated as Dobson. Very good spell out at Leganes, +7 to a 73 at 22. That's Jatta's replacement once he leaves. Lucero also went out on loan as well. And goal-wise, it's a very good season for Aaron Collins, but he's 31, so Dobson could replace him when he goes. Jatta got more goals than Burnett in another plateau season. It's 15th. It is comfortable in the championship, not comfortably near the top or bottom. I'd like to scoot up a little. If I'm honest, I thought we might just grab a playoff spot as a loss to Coventry and a loss to Leicester in the Cup. So yeah, a very basic season. That's basically all I can call it. As I said, I did want to get near the playoffs, and £15 million, I think the board are expecting a lot more from us than I am. Oh no, mid-table? Seriously? They just want the same as last year? Okay, I'm a little confused on that one, because I fully expect us to be up there challenging. I'm not going to think about the other clubs, I'm just going to think about ourselves. As left-backs, the position we left last season, we have a new right-back. In Farkas, now 73, he matches Cotter, he goes ahead of him. Hills could also do with replacing, and also the captain curse is very real with Anderson. Been a good servant since we signed him in League One, but we don't need our captain again like we didn't need Hinchy. He's a good bench player, nothing more, nothing less. But we need Premier League quality if we're going to actually reach the Premier League. And that's where Michael Schneider could walk in. He's only 18, he's a youngster at Arsenal, but he's running out of contract, as you can see by the lower valuation on the contract offer, which we're going to snap up, offering him 5 million. Oh, sorry, offering Arsenal 30 million. He's got the long hair, he wasn't going to start there. They've got decent midfielders as it is in Ødegaard and Deckers. Cringed at myself saying that a little bit, as we've organised the bench, we've got the team, we've got the youngsters in the midfield, now 2 defenders, and that is us done. As our team's good enough to reach the Premier League without even spending the rest of the money, which is 8 million. Plenty to get some quality extra. So welcome Noah Allen, a young Greek player from Inter Miami. And then Banks, this time a player from America, but actually playing over in the second Spanish tier. Giving us now this to get promoted with. Schneider got a little bit injured. Banks, I think, actually swapped game time for Brad Hills. Same as Allen a little bit, but we've got growth. Unfortunately, not from Jody Jones. He's now 32, is the Unk. He's been with us the whole way, alongside Jatta, who somehow still finds room for growth. But hopefully Will Simmons does, because he is going to stay at a 79 now as our left mid. Off the bench, as goal-wise, he's gone down by 1. He's 32. But Aaron Collins scores 45, which is frankly unbelievable. Him and Jarvis with 20 assists in the Team of the Year. A João Pedro Player of the Year. How can you not give it to Aaron Collins? In probably one of his final seasons in football, he's been robbed of a trophy, as we've been robbed of a trophy in the Championship, but I do not care one bit. 118 goals scored because Collins has been on fire. 96 points puts us only 2 behind Burnley, but into the Premier League with another trophy as well. We've won the FA Cup in the Championship. First it was the BSM, then it's the FA Cup. We beat Spurs, we very much looked out with Leicester in the finale, and that is a double in the Championship, which is something unheard of. This old team breaking records, and another season where first and second in the Championship have gone ahead and won the domestic cups. We were out to Burnley, of course, who we had to face a couple of times in the league. But yeah, a Championship season. But now both teams going to the Prem. And surely winning that big trophy gives us a bit much of a budget, but it doesn't. 36 million. Oh dear. To survive in the Prem with, as hang on, we did just win the FA Cup. That means we are going into the Europa League, so 36 looks a really bad sum of money to get. And flashback to earlier in the video when I did say there was a challenge coming in. And that challenge is now here. Now we're a Premier League side and this is pretty difficult. But because Notts County, the oldest professional team, we now can only sign old pros, so only players over 30 from now on, which is going to be very, well, I was going to say difficult, but it actually might not be because we've got youngsters in the squad as it is. Schneider, Tivic, oh, he's actually got a little bit older. We've got Farkas, Berente's not old, Bronner in the midfield. You get the point, we don't have to sell them immediately, and we don't have to get rid of the players that are under the age of 30. We just only can sign 30-year-olds, and there's a position I've always got to start at, and that is in goal. So sorry to Nicholas, he's probably going on the transfer list because goalkeepers tend to not decrease when they get past 30-year-old. And some of the world's best are already ancient, but we've got to be good with who we pick, because whoever we actually go and sign is going to be decreasing in rating from the moment they step into the club, as we've got our goalkeeper stepping out. Good luck to Nicholas from League Two to the Premier League, but goes to Wolves, giving us more money than we actually bargained for. 72 now. And if we are to get another player, it will be a one-in, one-out scenario. Firstly, Simmons. He can go onto that wing, pretty decent. Maybe one of these positions alongside getting a goalkeeper could be priority. It has to be defence. We need to survive in the Premier League, obviously. Maybe loan out Banks or Hills for some game time. Slapping on that filter. And I don't like signing over 30s. It just feels like we're throwing money away and we might as well search over in Italy with Ruben Diaz. Affordable, but 33. That's a little bit too old. Maybe we just calm it down for now. Maxence Lacroix of Juventus. This man still has pace going for him, so for an old man, he will catch strikers. And the goalie who is going to be joining him just signed for Bournemouth, Dorde Petrovic. Two solid signings, I'd say. As you can see, they're both over 30. And both hopefully helping Notts County out in the Europa League. And okay, it's only one draw in a Premier League season, but the defeats, 16's not good enough, and 5th, it's alright. I mean, when you're close to Champions League and you're already in the FA Cup as it stands, or sorry, the Europa League, it just feels like we've missed out on Champions League by a slim margin. As we won the Community Shield over Arsenal, don't count that as a trophy. It gets us nowhere, and unfortunately, we do not back up our FA Cup, or even win the Carabao. That goes to the other Magpies in Newcastle, as here we go, Europa League fixtures. We finished 3rd in the league phase, so we did automatically go through to the round of 16, where Marseille hammered our team 4-3. Got to improve for next year, and hopefully we have, despite signing 30-plussers. We were careful who we got this year. Lacroix was only 30, and same with Petrovic, so they've actually grown, not gone down. They will start to very soon, as we definitely need 3 positions next year. The youth that we've had going for us, Simmons, Schneider, also Rayner in that conversation, and Max Anderson into youth player, but he's worked his way back in the team to an 80 rated +3. We've also had Noah Kai Banks out on loan at Southampton, now 24 at 80 rated. And we got 21 goals this season from one of our youth players, Will Simmons, who's been with us since day one, and this team needs changing around drastically. I have put Anderson in for now, but he's a player I do think will go. Lastly though, there's 2 positions we definitely need to cover. I think Collins got 15 goals still last season, and Allen, he's got to go. As we've only got to sign old players, and I'm noticing with the old theme, we've still got players here from season 1. The Cypriot Trezula. I know I've butchered his name each time. We've got Barry Cotter, the Irishman. And Jody Jones is still on the bench. I think Jatta's here. Is he in the strikers? Yes, he is. As 73 million, that should be enough to go for the Europa League again. And also get in them positions, we've got to go biggest on a striker. We have the willpower in Will Jarvis and also Will Simmons. Hopefully supporting someone up front with Burnett, who has been okay. He's not as good as this next world-class signing I'm thinking of. In Georges Mikataudze, since Lyon are in a bit of a struggle IRL. I know he's not at Lille in this save, but I'm definitely going to take him here at Notts County. 35.1 million for our new talisman. And again, he's only 30. Another nationality into this very nationwide squad. With our Greekman now eyed up. I love my Greek players and my Scotsman. Anderson. I think I'm going to sell Anderson. Maybe sell Allen. Just to maximize the amount we can make. Sign more world-class players. However, no bids actually came in for Anderson. It took 2 weeks to get Allen out the club. And his replacement isn't too much. Melvin Bard at 30. Coming towards the end of his contract, leaving us 30 million for our central midfielder. Who comes in from the same league. From another different nationality, it is the Moroccan Neil Ayoundi of Mainz. And this is brilliant, isn't it? Look at that. 10 defeats again. We don't draw many games, but we did finish second to Liverpool, the normal top 6, really. And then a Merseyside derby in the FA Cup, as we haven't been able to retain that title or gain it back in a dominated Liverpool-England era. As for the Europa League, I don't see us in it. We can't have done that bad, no. Okay, for some reason we were chucked in the Champions League and somehow we bossed it. Going straight into the round of 16 and getting knocked straight out by Monaco, who beat us a lot. On this channel it used to be Porto, my unlucky team, but now it's Monaco. Ever since I did a rebuild on them, as this is the team, the old players aren't bad yet. Petrovic, Lecroix, Bard, and El Ayoundi, and also Mikataudze, I can't say the names, but they've all gone up. Alongside the likes of Will Jarvis, as we've got Will Simmons on top, we've got Burnett now to an 85. Dobson even got 10 goals. However, now is kind of a sad time because we are losing our man Jody Jones, Mike Traore, who was good season 1, and also Aaron Collins. As this year's all about the budget, now we're a Champions League club again, or should I say for the first time, £73 million. And is it striker season again, really? I know we'd have 2 decent ones, but honestly, in this team, I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather sign. Because Farkas, youth, brilliant. Simmons, amazing. Schneider, since he came across from Arsenal, what a letdown from them. He could have been the next Ozil, as if there's another player like him on the market. You bet your bottom dollar will take him, as we're expected Champions League again and reach the final with Notts County in Season 1. Here we go. It's always Season 1 objectives once we reach a competition. Last year I had no idea how we were actually in it. We've got a lot of contracts to sign up, but players like Nick is going to be left out. Dennis, who somehow came along. And Jata, as yes, he was actually getting some game time, so we are losing 2 strikers. Not good ones, but we need another one. And one that would have been good is Macaulay Langstaff. Used to play at Notts County, scoring goals for fun for them, but unfortunately retired in this save. But it's got me thinking, an English striker, because we've gone all over with nations, could be a really nice shout, but there's actually no one old. Kane's retired, and I'm not taking Dominic Solanke, so yes, we're going to have to go abroad again, as Solanke only costs 5 million, and even Tottenham don't want him anymore. I am going to stick in the Prem, however, because I do want to steal from a rival club in order to try and increase our league position, and I'm going to take Fulham Santiago Jimenez. Just a quick sign-in that's took all our money up. This guy was over 30 and actually 32, as that's how our team looks. We've got some 90s or 190, then a lot of decent players. We've got Schneider at 89 and Mikataudze scoring 24, more than Jimenez with 8. And a league finish which does put us in the UCL again. But look how dominant Liverpool are. 4th this time. We've dropped a little down. Looked like Fulham used that money wisely. We gave them for Raul Jimenez. Or Santiago Jimenez, sorry. Raul was there before as we lose to Liverpool. In the Com Shield, FA Cup, Manchester over Middles. I'm shortening all the names there. The rivals against the London Blues. In the Carabao, as I just can't stand the sight of looking at Liverpool. I do have a different mod pack on here, so the Milans are capitalised. However, we automatically went through, hammering Marseille 4-0 in the round of 16. No Monaco standing in our way. PSV 5-1. And then Real Madrid 3-0. But look at that. I'm not going to zoom in because Borussia Dortmund have just got beaten by Stade Rennais, giving us a finale of black and white versus black and red. Stade Rennais versus Notts County. Never in my life would I think this would be the final this season, and the team we play. We're going to be at the Santiago Bernabeu, two lower down teams. No offense to Stade Rennais, but they're not the top team in France. However, we're definitely lower in England. From the EFL League Two, and Will Simmons unfortunately suspended. Burnett's going to play out on the side because obviously he can play winger as well as striker. As a decent move. Bard, the Frenchman, I think he might have played for Rennais before. Or maybe I'm wrong on that, I don't know. Just because he's French doesn't mean he's played for that club. But we've still got one of the other Wills, Will Jarvis, riding a sliding challenge and trying to put that cross in the box as Gutierrez. Good block, Lecroix, or Lecroix, however you say it. And look at the size of Tivvic, one of the players we signed from Watford in our League One days. Baird. Get running. Come on, there was a man making a decent run. We look a little tired, but that is a ball through onto Jimenez across the goal. Capril does very well to stop it, but here we are with the corner ball. Mikataudze, edge of the box. Schneider. Oh my days, not a very good hit. But never mind the hit. Look at the hair. Look at the beautiful long hair on that man. As now Jarvis. If he can cut inside, maybe try it for himself. He's done a lot better at Notts County. It's very tricky feet from him, and then a decent block. It's the second half. We usually get, I don't know what it is, a boost. The start of the second half, we usually play a lot better. Jarvis, he's been just driving everywhere with the ball at his feet. If he could get a run from Georges. Needs to make a move, the striker, but he's not doing so. He's the false nine. Maybe chip that out over the top into Schneider. Making the run. Probably a handball, but it's not given. Schneider into the box. Very good tackle by El Adawi. Yet to recognise many of their players. I honestly think they're very lucky to be here in this Champions League finale, as that's a brilliant tackle. We do seem like we're slowing down. Maybe it's a fitness thing, with the Prem just coming slightly before. Burnett. Oh my days! That's just a simple pass to the side of you, come on! Seriously, a terrible player, but Jimenez, just now with 1 minute on the clock. Burnett, one of our strikers, on the wing. He's running through on goal. If the defender can't keep up with him, it's Burnett. Capril spreads himself. And that's going to be the full-time whistle, 0-0 in normal time. Taking us to the dreaded extra, and Jimenez. If Jimenez can turn, pass that through. Watch us score straight away in added time, and that's Georges. That is the man. Georges Gorgeous. I can't believe I called him out. And he goes and scores potentially the winner. Legit as soon as we hit extra time. Can't believe it's took him that long, but decent to stay away from the defender. And all he had to do was pass it side netting. 1-0. Very nice. But if we could get another in added time, Will Jarvis just shoot. Capril's been spilling everything, but he doesn't do that time. As all we've got to do now is try and stay strong for this second half. And I can't believe what the clock's saying. We've got 1 added minute. And that is all it took, Mikataudze. 1-0 because of the Georgian. And that means Notts County, the oldest team in football, like I said I would. I've made them Champions League winners. And I think Tivvic deserves to actually lift that trophy. He came in League One, so he hasn't been here the whole journey, but he has been here for a large part of it. As if you haven't been here the whole journey. What are you doing? Please do subscribe. I'm only joking, by the way. But do leave a like, and subscribing means the world to me. We're on the race to 60k, and if you do want to see something new around here, click my hands right here to see what YouTube recommend you personally.